We want to see the world, wherever it may take us. To learn new things.
Here we go again, we're going inside!
To go where few have gone. Join us on our adventures, our Stein Ventures. I have never been to the Middle East, but there's a country in this ancient land, one that bears the traces of many civilizations. It offers great hospitality, plenty of adventure, and a lot of history. This 6-episode series is about Jordan, one of my favorite countries I've been to so far. Get ready to explore some famous ruins, get an eye full of wild camel, visit the masked desert of Wadi Rum, we'll hike down the canyons of Wadi Muji, get baptized in the Jordan River, visit the Dead Sea, and venture to many more places. We were super excited to visit this part of the world. Now it's your chance to experience it with us. Ah, the long flight. It's something I look forward to every time. And the plane ride to Jordan was about 10 hours long. We like to challenge ourselves and book coach. The excellent leg room is more than enough on a long flight like this. Or maybe it's just the outrageous price tag for business class. When we finally made it to our destination, we knew this was going to be an adventure in the making. The barren landscape excited us. I mean, this is Mars, right? Well, maybe not, but a lot of movies based on other planets were filmed in this country.
Here we are at the airport in Jordan, Amman, Jordan, and we're waiting for our vehicle to pull up and pick us up. So it's a bit dusty today. It's around 4:30 or 5 p.m. And there's my baby. We've been up all night and we're still doing well.
The capital and largest city in the country is Amman, named for the Ammonites, who made the city their capital in the 13th century. Slightly smaller in area than the country of Portugal, Jordan is bounded to the north by Syria, to the east by Iraq, to the southeast and south by Saudi Arabia, and to the west by Israel and the West Bank. From the airport, we made our way to downtown area and checked into our hotel. We stayed at the Rotana Arjan Amman, a very comfortable hotel with a nice bed, a little kitchen, and a wonderful bathroom. After a long flight, we were super tired and just wanted to sleep for the night. Unfortunately, they had a nightlife music festival going on outside. I don't know what she's doing. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I spy!
So we can't quite see the show, but there's some action going on down there. Oh, there we go.
They had a great shopping area right outside of our hotel room. They also had a fantastic outdoor restaurant on the top floor overlooking the city of Amman. We had a wonderful stay here and would highly recommend this hotel while you're staying in Amman. And the staff was superb. After slowly rolling out of bed due to the Party Till You Drop festival, we managed to get a bite to eat and start our Amman city tour.
Good morning from Amman, Jordan.
Good morning. Our first stop of the city tour is the Citadel.
We're about to take a look at some Roman architecture and wanted to show them the hillside of all the homes.
Okay, here we go. I suggest getting the Jordan Pass before you visit this country. It will save you a lot of money, especially when you make your way south to Petra. Most of the major sites are included in the Jordan Pass. Prices vary, so choose the best pass that suits you. The Amman Citadel, located in the heart of modern-day Amman, is an impressive site that helps tell the story of this region's layered heritage. The Citadel dominates one of the 7 jebels, or hills, that make up the capital city of Jordan. It's a small area, but it's still fun roaming the ruined labyrinths. Occupied since the Bronze Age, it's surrounded by a 1,700-meter-long wall, which was rebuilt many times during the Bronze and Iron Ages, as well as the Roman, Byzantine, and Umayyad periods. Personally, I love exploring old treasured places like this. When you walk the grounds, you could only imagine how this place looked in all its glory. A long time ago, a few devastating earthquakes destroyed this city, and sadly, this is all that remains. In fact, people abandoned the city only to come back years later to rebuild Amman into what it is today. While we continue our journey through this maze of ancient walls, we begin to think that there is something more grand up ahead. Lo and behold, grand is what we got. The Citadel's most impressive series of historic buildings is focused around the Umayyad Palace. Believed to be the work of Umayyad Arabs, dating from about AD 720, the palace was an extensive complex of royal and residential buildings that was once home to the governor of Amman. Its lifespan was short, and it was destroyed by the earthquake in AD 749 and was never fully rebuilt. The Temple of Hercules is the most famous site within the Amman Citadel. The 2 giant standing pillars are the remains of the Roman Temple of Hercules. Once connected to the Forum, the downtown, the temple was built during the reign of Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. The only obvious remains are parts of the podium and the columns, which are visible from around town. Look for a portion of Hercules' hand on the ground. I took the high road but couldn't find it. Amman, Jordan is a fascinating city. I love driving around the city because it wasn't as busy as Cairo. In fact, you hardly ever heard a couple of cars attacking each other with that annoying honk. Now every city has a special something, and this city has its own Roman Colosseum. Not as big as the one in Rome, but still quite impressive. This magnificently restored theater is the most obvious and impressive remnant of Roman Philadelphia and is the highlight of Amman for most foreign visitors. The theater itself is cut into the northern side of a hill and has a seat capacity of 6,000. Okay, so we're walking the steps of the Colosseum right now, and the steps are slippery. But this is pretty cool, as you can see in the background. I just have to watch my step. And we're going all the way to the top because we're cool like that. My wife's kicking my butt. She's way up there right now.
It's pretty intense, but it was a great exercise.
Great exercise.
Great workout.
The theater was built on 3 tiers. The rulers, of course, sat closest to the action. The military secured the middle section, and the general public perched and squinted from the top rows. Okay, coming back down. Luckily, I didn't break any bones, and I was able to continue our journey. There's also a small museum catty corner to the amphitheater with some interesting clothing from the past. Displayed in another room are mosaics they found within the region. These beautiful pieces of art are a wonder to look at. They also have an area where they retell the story of the Bedouins crossing the desert into this land. The museum is small and will only take around 20 minutes to visit. Then it's off to our next destination. Or perhaps a quick stop for dessert. Our great driver Ahmad was anxious to have us try a traditional Jordan sweet treat. They call it kanafi. We knew we were in trouble as soon as we entered the sweet shop. It smelled really good. And we were both anxious to give it a try.
Okay, so the thing about this dessert is it's served hot. The white part is the goat cheese, and that's very hot upon the first bite. And then the top it's actually cooked on the brown side. So it's a kind of crunchy texture, and then the green pieces here are pistachio. So you pour a little bit of syrup on, and that's what you see around here, and mix it all together, and it makes for a delicious dessert.
Old Town had its own unique feel to it. And to explain this feeling, I can imagine being chased down the streets in this city by none other than Tom Cruise in a Mission Impossible film. Our first interesting shop that we found was Petra Spices and Herbs. If you love different spices, then this shop is for you. And they let you taste anything you want before you buy. Besides spices and herbs, they also sell delicious Jordanian honey. They have a wide variety of flavors to choose from. And yes, you can even taste the honey too. And where have I seen this before? Oh yes, Cairo, Egypt. It's always interesting walking the streets of an old downtown, especially in a foreign country. Here you get a chance to do a little people watching. Or should I say, people watching you. They always spot the tall, white American guy right away. One thing we always enjoy is the local downtown open-air market. It's never a dull moment in these places. We find little chickies chirping away, and plenty of chicken in tight-placed quarters. The action never stops. And then suddenly, we're in the vegetable and fruit market. This is the vegetable souk in Jordan, Amman, Jordan, to be exact. Get a whiff of those olives. Pat the back of those watermelons. And say hello to those friendly locals. This place has it all. Need some meat? What are you in the mood for? Because they don't leave any piece of the animal to waste. Can you identify anything here? Would you want to? Do you have any idea what these are? Ahmad was very generous and offered to buy one for me to try. As delicious as it looked, I said I wasn't quite ready yet. But maybe tomorrow. Now this was interesting. They call this the Thieves Market. In the past, if something was stolen from your home, you can most likely repurchase it in these tight corridors. Today, it's just an old flea market. Even old friends gather to shoot the breeze. If you need an appliance fixed, or just looking for an old TV with a knob changer, you've come to the right place. I even came across an old shop at the end of the hall that had an old genie's lamp. Perhaps Aladdin's? After walking the streets all afternoon, Ahmad treated us to a fantastic dinner at one of his favorite restaurants. We had a wonderful first day in Jordan. We experienced plenty of culture, history, and friendly people. Now we were about to leave the big city and head south into the desert. We were excited to see the famous Petra. But before we get a chance to marvel at the ancient city, things would get a little hairy. On the next Stein Ventures, we get a chance to visit Mount Nebu. We get stuck on the King's Highway in a massive sandstorm. We get a small preview of what Petra might look like with little Petra.
You can do it. Yeah!
Join us as our adventure beyond the city limits begins. And if you like this episode of Stein Ventures, make sure you hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe